An intriguing mix of scents and sounds fills the atmosphere in a tucked-away alley in the city of London. The robust aroma of coffee drifts from an artisan cafe, mingling with the scent of damp cobblestones and the occasional hint of cologne from a solitary passerby. Snippets of overheard conversation float through the air, punctuated by the distant, muffled rumble of traffic. Amidst this isolated yet sensorially rich enclave, an ancient stone wall stands as a curious relic, almost incongruous in its antiquity. Atop this wall sits a bronze thistle. Its etched petals and ridged stalk bear the weight of history, yet its presence is so unobtrusive that most people fail to even notice it. It was not until people paused, eyes caught by the unlikely elegance of this metallic weed, that its quiet power became evident. Edward, a young man in his late teens, walked past the ancient wall and involuntarily slowed as his eyes met the bronze thistle. To Edward, the bronze thistle felt oddly grounding. He looked at the small leaves that unfolded like a crown, and how the aged bronze gave it an almost timeless complexion. Unbeknownst to him, the thistle's unyielding quality in nature provided a moment for Edward to ask himself questions. Edward was torn between his parents' dream of him going to university and his own longing to join the army. The more he contemplated the thistle, the more he was drawn to its unique characteristics. Thistles, or weeds in some eyes, were far more than that. They were resilient, capable of growing in harsh conditions, and had a natural defense mechanism, those spiky leaves. It seemed like a metaphor for his own life. Wasn't he, like the thistle, struggling to grow in an environment that didn't entirely suit him? Edward couldn't dismiss the thistle's protective spines, which reminded him of the army, defensive yet resilient. The more questions he asked himself about this simple yet complex object, the clearer his path became. To grow in an inhospitable land, to defend what was important, he decided to follow his own inclination and join the army. A few days later, Sarah, a middle-aged woman with an eye for artifacts, walked past the bronze thistle. She noticed a young girl, Emily, kneeling by the wall, placing a paper thistle beneath its bronze counterpart. "What are you doing?" Sarah inquired, genuinely curious. "My brother made a difficult decision here," Emily explained, "and it eased so much tension in our family. I just wanted to say thank you." Emily was Edward's younger sister. "Ah, the unsung virtues of gratitude," Sarah said with a warm smile. "I find it fascinating how objects like this can somehow hold emotion and meaning for those who stop long enough to look." Emily returned the smile and continued her little ritual. Sarah walked away, taking a part of that experience with her, leaving Emily to her thoughts about the curative properties of the thistle. As time passed, the word spread about the mysterious bronze thistle that seemed to hold the answers to life's pressing questions. People started to pay more attention to it, not just for its artistic allure, but also for how it stirred the soul to reflect. No one knew where the thistle had come from. Was it a forgotten art piece, or a relic from an older, wiser civilization? The theories were numerous, but none conclusive. The bronze thistle didn't need an origin story to validate its impact. And then, one day, when the autumn leaves began to scatter across the cobbled street, Emily returned. This time she saw that someone had placed a small bronze plaque beside the thistle. It read, "In gratitude." No name, no date. It was a simple phrase that expressed all the unspoken thanks people had felt. It was as though the thistle had acknowledged the collective gratitude, adding another layer to its enigmatic appeal. Emily smiled. She felt her eyes misting over, not out of sadness but a profound sense of completion. The thistle, it seemed, had done its job once again, It stood there, a tribute to human struggles and quiet moments that bring resolution, a true marvel in form and its unspoken ability to heal.